Peace, family. Chauncey, aka Ukarema, great man of God media, right back at you once again with another GMOGmedia spotlight. All right, family, this is a very heavy topic I want to talk about, and this is something that basically needs to be talked about, number one, and number two, again, this goes back to systematic racism, white supremacy. All right, if you're new to the channel, family, my channel, GMOGMediaTV, once again, I'm Chauncey, aka Ukarema. I talk about counter racism. I talk about things that affect black people collectively as a group, and I address it on my platform, and I offer suggestions on how to resolve the situation. All right, family, so as you can see with the topic, I'm dealing with the issue with the Cincinnati Zoo, with the parent, Michelle Gregg, who happens to be African American, and her 4-year-old son fell into the gorilla exhibit at the Cincinnati Zoo. All right, and I'm gonna break this down because with the title of this video, I titled it "Why Animal Lives Matter and Why Black Lives Don't." And I'm gonna break that down, and I want you guys to pay attention on how the animal lives matters more than a black unarmed man, woman, or child in this place that we call the wilderness of North America. All right, so family, if you don't know about this situation that happened in Cincinnati with the 4-year-old child, basically Michelle Gregg, the mother of the 4-year-old son, she took her family to the zoo as well. She also had other kids with her as well. Now, let me tell you something also, right? This was an accident, all right? Anything can happen, and I'm not condoning the fact that, you know, she was responsible for her child. Yes, I agree with that. But it was an accident at the same time, right? But anyhow, she took her children, her family, to the zoo to have a good time, and unfortunately, whatever the case may be, the child was able to basically get out of her eyesight and go into the gorilla exhibit with a huge gorilla by the name of Harambe, I believe his name is Harambe. And the child was right in the gorilla moat area in the water. And I don't know, miraculously, the child was able to be saved. They shot and killed the gorilla. And people are questioning the fact that, you know, the gorilla should not have been shot. There's petitions and all kinds of things, which I'm gonna deal with the petitions later. But yeah, there's all kinds of outrage from these animal rights groups, which are basically white people. These animal rights groups are ruthless, are dastardly trying to make sure that Michelle Gregg and her family live an unproductive life, and I'm gonna address that later too. But yeah, so basically it was a accident that happened at the zoo, and once again, I don't condone the fact that she should have been watching her child. I don't care if you have 100 children with you, you're responsible for those children that you bring to a zoo. All right, so her child fell into the gorilla moat area, exhibit area, and they shot and killed the gorilla. They was able to save the child. The child was able to basically still alive, got some minor injuries, I believe. And right now, the white-owned media is on a smear campaign. Basically, I'm going to read to you an article from dailymail.co.uk, which says, title, I'll have it on the screen for you guys to see, as well as in the description. The title of this article is "Parents of 4-year-old whose son fell into zoo enclosure sparking killing of Harambe the gorilla. As it emerges, father has lengthy criminal history, including kidnap and drug trafficking." Now, this is typical white supremacist media tactics, right? I expect this to happen, so they always try to do a smear campaign, especially the fact that, you know, the parents of the child, the 4-year-old boy, they're black, they're African American. So what they do is they try to scathe history of the family's background, see if they can get some criminal history, expose it on the internet, which has absolutely nothing to do with the incident, and try to demonize and criminalize these people. All right, to further make, or I guess to further incite the hatred towards people of color, which again, systematic racism, white supremacy. This is what the channel talks about. All right, so I'm going to read some things with the article. I read the title, and I'm going to read the first paragraph of the article, right? So it says, these are the parents of the 4-year-old boy whose 15-foot fall into the gorilla exhibit moat in Cincinnati Zoo resulted in the death of a 17-year-old silverback gorilla, Harambe. Seen here for the first time is mother Michelle Gregg, 32, who has 4 children by father Deion Dickerson, 36. Now, they're talking about Deion Dickerson having a criminal record. Deion Dickerson, 36, who Daily Mail Online can disclose has a lengthy criminal history. Once again, this has absolutely nothing to do with the fact that their child fell into the gorilla exhibit, which was an accident. And again, I don't condone the fact that she should have been watching her child. She is to blame, okay? She is to blame for that. But pulling up someone's criminal history has absolutely nothing to do with anything besides the fact that it's a white supremacist tactic. Okay, it's a white supremacist tactic, and it's business as usual for these white media publications. And again, if you haven't noticed, on my title, I have Black Media hashtag. All right, so people like myself, I am a platform that talks about racism, counter racism. We have platforms and we have focus groups that talk about counterintelligence, right? You have people that talk about counter terrorism, right? But you hardly have people talking about counter racism, which is what my channel is about. So again, this article from dailymail.co.uk, they have a history of doing these smear campaigns, especially for people of color. And again, them talking about, and I'm not going to, and the article is in the description. If you want to read about his lengthy criminal history, go ahead. I'm not going to say that because it's pointless, it's useless, and is a tactic by white-owned media publications. But with the topic at hand, when I'm talking about, family, is the fact that you have these animal rights groups, right, that will go above and beyond to make sure they seek justice for this gorilla, Harambe. Okay? Once again, we have black unarmed men, women, and children being shot and killed, legalized lynchings on a daily basis. And we don't seek any justice. Excuse me. We are seeking justice, but we don't receive justice because we live in a system of systematic racism, white supremacy. So we need to replace that with a system of justice. And I'm going to break down what justice is. The compensatory definition of justice is, number 1, guaranteeing no person is mistreated, and number 2, guaranteeing the person who needs help the most gets the most constructive help. All right, family. So again, you have these white funded animal rights groups, right, that are trying to demonize and are trying to criminalize the family of Michelle Gregg and white media publications. Right? So they have an online petition from change.org, which I'll have on the screen and in the description as well. They have an online petition, right? And this is the power of these groups, these white-owned groups, these white-funded groups. They just put up this change.org petition right after the issue that happened last week at the Cincinnati Zoo and Michelle Gregg's son. They put this petition up. Currently, as of today, they have over 488,000 signatures. They are 12,000 signatures away from doing quite a few things based off this petition. So the petition says, petitioning Thane Maynard, Zoo Director, Cincinnati Zoo and Botanical Garden, and Hamilton County Child Protective Services. So they nearly have, and they're going to get this 500,000 signatures, no question. All right. So they have over 488,000 signatures from change.org to possibly have criminal charges filed against Michelle Gregg and have her child put into foster care in the system. Okay? Over a damn gorilla. A damn gorilla. Once again, a gorilla. All right? So now, let's do the parallels here. All right? Let's do the parallels here. So we have people like, we have unarmed boys, not grown men. We have unarmed boys like Tamir Rice, Trayvon Martin, Michael Brown. Okay? Now, we have online petitions for Trayvon Martin, Michael Brown, okay, and Tamir Rice. I'm going to talk about the first one, Trayvon Martin. Right? Now, this, I'm pretty sure there are other Trayvon Martin petitions. But I'm just going by the most recent ones that I can find from change.org. So now, you have a petition from Trayvon Martin with only 15,000 signatures, and they're only petitioning the mayor of Sanford and Jeff Triplett to seek justice for Trayvon Martin. Okay? The petition here didn't seek their goal. They didn't have enough signatures to go ahead and further pursue what they're trying to do, which again is not justice, it's injustice. That's Trayvon Martin. All right, now let's talk about Tamir Rice. There's a change.org petition for Tamir Rice. It has over 119,000 supporters. Again, it's below its threshold. Okay? They are petitioning the county, the Cayuga County prosecutor, Timothy McGilty, and one additional person for justice for Tamir Rice. Again, they don't have enough supporters. Let's talk about another one. Let's talk about Michael Brown. Another change.org petition. All right. Now, this petition, okay, for Michael Brown, justice for Michael Brown. Their threshold is 150,000 signatures, and they have 119,000 supporters for Michael Brown. Again, they haven't reached their threshold. The petition is closed now. So what's the parallel, family? I just read to you petitions for boys that were legalized, they were legally lynched by race soldiers, okay? Trayvon Martin, and George Zimmerman was a wannabe race soldier, okay? A wannabe one. But again, he was shot senselessly by George Zimmerman, a known white supremacist, all right? So we have unarmed boys, Trayvon Martin, Michael Brown, Tamir Rice, who was only 12 years old. We got online petitions for them. None of them have reached their goal for justice. They didn't have enough signatures, online signatures, to further seek justice for these senseless deaths. But yet we are 12,000 signatures away for a damn gorilla, okay? A gorilla, because these animal rights groups who are white funded, they want to make sure the lives and the family of Michelle Gregg, who is the mother of a 4-year-old, as well as her other children, they want to seek criminal charges against her, and they want to put her children in foster care in the system. What does that? What does that tell you, family? Again, I don't get too emotional. I deal with facts, logic, and common sense on my channel, but this kind of really irks me. You're willing to go ahead and put a damn gorilla over a life, the family of Michelle Gregg and her children, and then you have the white media publications digging up dirt for criminal history of her husband, okay, the father to her children, and she only has one father of her children. She doesn't have multiple quote unquote baby daddies, right? You have the white media publications doing this smear campaign to demonize and criminalize the Michelle Gregg family and her husband, and these animal rights groups that are white funded that want to criminalize, see her locked up, and put her children in foster care. What does that tell you, family? Right? What does that tell you? So again, I deal with counter racism. These kind of things, and again, like I said, they're going to get those signatures done. It's not going to be surprising if that happens. So if she has criminal charges against her and her children wind up in foster care, I'm not going to be surprised, because once again, we live in a system of racism, white supremacy, and we need to replace it with a system of justice, and we're not getting justice. As you can see from what I read from the Change.org petitions, Trayvon Martin, Michael Brown, Tamir Rice, just to name a few, have not sought justice. We are still seeking justice. All right, and this damn gorilla is going to seek justice. I'm not going to be surprised, once again, if Michelle Gregg's family is put in foster care and she has criminal charges against her. I'm not going to be surprised, family. All right, so that's what I wanted to talk about, family. Once again, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. I talk about counter racism. We need more dialogue about how to replace this unjustly system of racism, which is white supremacy, with the system of justice. All right, I do weekly vlogs, weekly commentary that address black issues collectively as a group. So be on the lookout for more material. I have other material in the works that you definitely guys going to love. I also talk about black empowerment, black liberation, black owned businesses as well. I try to promote on my channel, so be on the lookout for those and things of that nature. All right, family. Chauncey, aka Ukarema, GMOGMedia, signing out. Peace.